IM Sydney's the first CS2 event, and JL has instantly dropped the 30 bomb in barely 20 rounds, and he has already talked about in interviews that you need to play CS2 differently than CSGO.
I'm not gonna lie, every single time I'm holding an angle, I'm trying not to hold it because I'm scared to death that I'm just gonna get peeked, so I'm always... It's scary, it gets into your head, so if I'm getting a feeling that I'm gonna get peeked soon, I'll be the one to peek first. I'm just swinging out.
And I'd like to get right into the demo review right after a quick word from Skins Monkey. Today's video is sponsored by Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is a site where you could trade your skins that you don't want anymore to get some fresh, clean, new skins. All you do is you log in through Steam and then put in the items that you don't want anymore, grab the items that you do, and then click trade. Trades happen almost immediately, and any extra balance that you don't use in your current trade will roll over so you can use it in a future trade as well. Right now you can get a free $5 if you use code Austin on the site, and if you were to use my code you get an extra 5% on top of the 30% deposit bonus. So let's say that you deposit $100, you would get $135 on the site, and you can use that for a future trade. So go ahead and check out Skins Monkey, and let's get right back into the video. So as we just heard, it seems like JL says that there seems to be a little bit of a peeker's advantage problem even on LAN. So let's go ahead and go into this game and see how he uses peeker's advantage to his advantage. And I'd like to make the argument that I think JL might be someone to keep an eye on in going into the future of CS2 because he's very quick to adapt to every circumstance in front of him and make the most of it. So hopping in over to the demo, we have Mirage here. We're looking at Mr. JL. He is going to be the short player on his team, and we got a pistol around here. Now, for those of you guys that have ever gotten a demo review from me in the past or watched my other ones, you might know that I don't actually think that pistol round is too important to look at, but since CS2 is new, I am kind of curious to see how people are playing it, and for the most part, so far, I've been watching quite a few games from IM Sydney, and it seems like a lot of the pistol rounds are very similar. I mean, as you can see, JL is running and gunning here, just like you would in CSGO, so everything looks pretty similar, and you know, that's a good sign for LAN, you know, for CS2. There was definitely some issues online with pistols, especially during the beta and during, you know, online now. It's still a little sketchy, but on LAN it looks mostly the same. I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit here, sorry. Now, since CS2 has a different demo viewer, I'm still going to be getting used to it, so there's going to be a couple of moments here that probably are a little awkward, so we'll just have to bear with me here a little bit as we get through it. Now, the new demo viewer is actually very clean, though, and I am very much a fan of how it is. So we have Mr. JL yet again. He's playing towards short, just kind of listening towards abs, ready to nade in case they were to go B. Here's one towards top mid, gives it a little spam. Obviously, with the new smoke mechanic, spamming the smoke is actually very strong because you could get info. You can maybe see somebody through the smoke here or there. You never know. Walks up here, spots Jacob on the bench. Very awkward fight here. Not really sure what the best course of action here would be. Like, maybe just play your life and get out. This kind of seems like what he wants to do here. Doesn't actually need to break that vent anymore. In CS2, you don't need to break the vent to throw nades through it, but that might just be an old habit. Drops a nade under window. Looking good. I am a pretty big fan of how JL has played so far, and, you know, we just watched the interview before where he was talking about peeker's advantage, and he said every time that he thinks he's about to get peeked, he just peeks instead. As you can see, he's, like, very eager to just, like, swing to fight people, and I think that might be why we're seeing JL farm these early games, especially here in Sydney. Now, I'm not really sure what Valve is going to do. It does kind of seem like peeker's advantage is a little wild. I mean, I haven't personally seen too many peeks get, you know, cleaned out like they would in CSGO, or cleanly dealt with, I should say. And I don't know, it's really odd that LAN is having some of the same problems as online is. And we could blame Subtick if we'd like, but I'm not really sure. Maybe it's deeper than that. Anyway, JL got a nice clean 4K there. Played that round beautifully, might I add. I'm really a big fan of the discipline that he had in ladder room. He didn't want to panic. He didn't want to run away. And that's something that you can definitely learn for your games. It's okay, even if they know that you're there, to just chill out, play your angles, or peeker's advantage in this case, because you never know how it'll go. And as we just saw, you know, that discipline is going to help him out. Moving on to the third round here, we are going to see more of the same. JL just playing very aggressive. I do love this approach. And look at that, just another clean 2 kills. Absolutely fantastic. He seems to like this smoke a lot, where he's smoking himself off cat. Now, I actually will pause this. So one of the things that's really nice about CS2 demo viewers is that you can still draw on the map infinitely now. In CSGO, you couldn't do that. But it seems like once he knows that his position is given up, he likes to smoke himself off like cat. He likes to smoke, you know, so he can come out ladder. But I don't know, it's a very interesting smoke. It kind of denies the T's from being able to come up. I know it's a 2v2, but it also gives him like a safety to get back to B. And I really do like that. So let's go ahead and keep going. The controls are very clunky in this demo viewer. My apologies. Here's one running up or B here. Should be a pretty easy kill. He's just 1 HP. This is a very strong position, by the way, that JL is playing. You force them to peek into you, and it's an off angle that they've already cleared a few times. Because when you're coming through apps, you check the arch the first time, and the second time from this window. And then by the time you get to this is where you actually are. So you see, like, it creates like this like nice little line. You can only be peeked from here, and it really catches people off because they feel like they've checked it a handful of times. I don't know if my lines make sense, but they make sense to me. Yeah, one of the things about the CS2 demo viewer is that the items are kind of buggy in people's hands. Like knives and guns are like floating out of their hands. I'm assuming that's just a bug. I mean, I hope it is, but you know, just kind of funny for now. Either way, have you noticed that JL comes every single round, and as long as there's no mid pressure, he holds out a nade. Like, look at him. He's literally just holding a nade out, ready to throw it. Whether it be for B-pop, B-rush, he can also use this molly to molly underpass, which he's already done. He's just playing very reactive based on the information that his teammates are getting. He's not really the guy that's getting info, he's more reacting off of the info, and I think that that's really important for newer players that play Cat, where you feel like you have to take Feist every round towards mid, but in reality, you're actually more of a supportive player, somebody that's there to just like secure the round. And we do love that as well, JL getting another 2K there, like that. Going on here to the next round, we get a little fast forward action. I don't actually think we're spectating JL anymore. Yeah, that is also kind of weird. The demo viewer just decides to spectate new people when the person you're watching is dying. Either way, another round here. I really like the way that Navi was playing Mirage. We have one of those new smokes, as you can see there, one that lands above connector. An interesting smoke. I don't really think it's the most useful thing in the world, but teams are just experimenting. Ah, yes, another boost. A very important note here. I talked about this in CSGO, but it's still worth mentioning in CS2. We have a lot of new players. I don't know why the map is showing all this. When they boosted, as you can see, they boosted JL so that he would jump up behind this wall so that the person that could be chair doesn't actually see him jump when he's inaccurate, and then he can peek into the angle. Did you see how he did that? Let me go ahead and rewind it. I think I can rewind it. Hold on. Go back 15 seconds. Yep, look at that. So go ahead and watch this back one more time. So, as you can see, the person boosts him so he can jump behind the wall and not get spotted, and then he can peek into the chair angle so the person there, you know, has to deal with the peeker's advantage from an off angle. Something that you can do every time when you boost bricks, and a lot of other places in this map, or sorry, in this game, where you can actually get away with doing that boost, or that kind of boost. It's one of those things that's like a smaller detail that you don't really like pick up on when you watch, but once I explain it, you're going to see it everywhere and know that it's really the way to do things. Some reason with the demo viewer, I'm hearing people in apps switch guns, but I promise you that they can't hear that. Like the CTs can't hear this. If you could hear it, it would be very distracting. So the people that think that you can already hear that, you can tell, definitely can't. Clean little kill there from JL. Definitely liking the way that he picks his angles here in towards the arch position. Missing mid info, so it's kind of hard to say. I mean, he could push and maybe play towards like Van in this situation. It's kind of like a player's choice. So I say this a lot. There's no such thing as a wrong answer, but there's a player's choice. I'm sorry about the map. I guess this is just a glitch right now. But player's choice means there's a lot of options for what you can do, but there's not a right option. There's a lot of good options, and it's up to the player to decide. For example, he knows they're in apps, so he could walk under the window to get to Van. Maybe he could try to get to default and kind of like get info apps to make sure that it's clear. Or he could stay here, watch Cat, and if he hears them jump out, because they have to make a sound cue to jump out of apps, he can hear them and then react off of that, which I think might be one of the better options on the board, which is what JL does. Or, I mean, you know, he could obviously go on this back wall, peek. There's a lot of options, right? But I really like this one because it just kind of shows you the discipline from JL. Doesn't get afraid, doesn't worry, always just sticking to his spot. He knows that he's a better player, and he's just very calculated. So he hears them coming out, tries to peek. He's full blind, unfortunately, so it won't work out for him. But either way, I still think that he played that very well. Moving into another round here, we got JL POV. I want to see if we can find a couple of moments here where he really abuses the peeker's advantage on land, because he talked about it, but, you know, in this game he drops 30 kills. We'll see if he does it a few times here. Now, there's another clip that is in the interview where he talks about this. I actually just play it now and talk over it a little bit. He says that a lot of people are complaining when the short player peeks towards mid and fights top mid as a T, because it's really hard to deal with them as Pika's advantage, and it apparently is tilting people. I don't know. I'll play the clip.
Way.
I've heard a lot of
Who's the
people
way? We're the way.
are getting tilted because they're getting swung by a map like Mirage. A guy coming out short as a CT, they swing, they kill you, they go back. They're full tilt. I've heard that numerous times.
I mean, I want to go back to the first game you had, right? I think it was against Apex and Mirage. You're playing towards B short. You were just farming them on the CT side.
I'm swinging. I'm telling you, I'm using the advantage.
That might be what we're seeing here when JL goes for this little peek with the flash as well. It's a very small detail, that flash, but it is definitely helpful. And definitely in my experience, I've also had quite a hard time dealing with the cat player whenever I'm on T side and I go out towards top mid boxes, whether that be like Chair or Delpan. I notice that if the short player swings out, it's a lot harder to kill them. I don't know really why. I mean, I guess it's just, sub tick, I'm not sure, but it is something that is, while it's in the game, it's okay to use it. It's going to help you. You got to make the most of your situation. That's what JL's doing, and it's winning him matches in important tournaments. Now, here's one of the things I noticed when I watched this game the first time. You guys might not know this. I can't go into free cam for some reason. Maybe I can if I do this. No, I can't. I can't go into free cam for some reason. Oh, yes, I can. Okay. So, whenever the window smoke comes down, you actually can see here that JL wanted to jump on top of these bricks, because if he does so, he actually has a little bit of a gap to peek towards mid while he's still standing on the bricks. This is one of those things that happens with the window smoke now. You either get a gap on top of these bricks to see, or sometimes the window smoke will actually leave a gap for you to see towards top mid. And a lot of times on my stream, I actually play that, in my stream, twitch.tv/AustinCS_. Kind of a shameless plug, but if you guys enjoy the content, you might as well come check it out sometime. We actually do get quite a few kills using that, because it's just the way that the smokes are. They leave these gaps around the edges for them to be easily, abused. And again, that's just another one of those things that kind of makes my case pretty strong. Whereas, like, I feel like JL is very aware of a lot of the things that are happening in CS2, and he's on top of the game, making the most of it. And I mean, any update that comes out in the future, I'm sure he will also be, using it, whatever ends up happening, to his advantage. And we can't really hate on him for that, because everybody realistically is just playing with the game that's in front of them. And, it is what it is. Anyway, so we just started window this round, a little bit of a B hit. Nades towards Van. Unfortunate that Lexi B does eat that, but it's not really JL's fault. You don't expect your IGL to get 4 on a B pop there, so naded just in case they were to get out. Just a pretty standard round. He didn't really have too much impact there. We're seeing this again. This time they know they're out towards mid. JL doesn't pull out his molly because obviously he might need to fight. And even though he knows they're coming up towards Cat, he's still very, certain in his decision making. He's not panicking. Even though they're right on the other side of the bricks, he's still patiently throwing his nades. He knows that they're probably going to respect him. And this is just something that you really see from an experienced player. And one of the things that I've always admired about JL is that when he started to make his debut into the tier 1 scene, I just felt like he's always belonged there. He doesn't seem like one of those players that seems nervous to play against players that are better. I mean, he always just seemed like he belonged. He fits in, and I really like that about him. Repositions towards Ska Pillar here. He hears him jumping out. Now he knows that they're out towards B. You see him here. This is an example of him doing that peek thing. Instead of just holding an angle and trying to catch somebody like he might in CSGO, he hears them running on the site and he just peeks them anyway. This is a very good example of what he was talking about. Now he doesn't want them to get the chance to peek him, and instead he just, jumps the gun, making sure that he can abuse that peeker's advantage. And you might think that it's scummy from JL and all the pros to be aware of the bugs in the game and try to use them to get an advantage, but in reality, that's just kind of how it is. People were always using one-ways in CSGO. People were always doing things like, let's think about Big using the jump crouch bug at Krakow Major, where you could basically have wall hacks, Everybody's going to do what they have to do to get an advantage, and sometimes it might not be the best, but everybody knows about this peeker's advantage thing, so everybody's going to use it. So it's better to, have it used for yourself than have it used against you, if that makes sense. Now we do actually have a rotation from JL, so it gives up the cat gap here, so somebody is going to catch him off guard, and unfortunately there's really nothing he can do about that. He just gets a little unlucky because Alexi B picks an angle to hold towards apps, and honestly Casanito makes a very good play. He takes this gap, never spots anybody. Sometimes you're going to have this in CS where I think something's wrong, and you could take a gap, and you can actually, exploit a timing, and that's how it happens. Nothing JL even did. You might think JL made a mistake because he left his position, but remember, this is not something that JL would make his own decision on. Alexi B is calling the rotates, so he told JL to leave. This is just something that happens sometimes in CS, and there's really nothing that you could do about it. A lot of people might get tilted about a death like that, but I promise you that, sometimes it's just going to happen, and you can't let deaths like this tilt you, because otherwise you'll never be able to, stay in a game and keep performing. One of the things about Mirage is that Cat is a very dynamic position. Like, there's a lot of options. You can obviously play passive, hold for the bench angle, you can play in ladder, you can go towards window. You don't even have to start Cat. To be honest, you can even start 3A sometimes. Like, there's a lot of options, and it's nice to see they give somebody with the talent like JL, the chance to play this. Oh, here we go. First smoke nade of the game here. We do love that. Catches kicks in off. Again, they're not really respecting these smokes. So some things that have happened a lot in CS2, I've noticed anyway, is that running through smokes is very hard to stop. I don't really know why. It has something to do with Peeker's advantage and like the smoke, like there's like this like puff of smoke that comes around you whenever you come through a smoke that kind of distracts you, like the person looking at you. So you're seeing this a lot from tier 1s, and I mean, just like a regular game that you might play. You see a lot of people that just run through smokes whenever they get the chance. And honestly, it makes a lot of sense. And, the fact that we're seeing it in pro play as well is just one of those things that you just don't expect to see. I've accidentally skipped JL's death here. Anyway, so he's making his way up towards Cat. Throws the normal Cat flash. I've talked about this in a video. Swings out. This is one of those peaks, but he pulls a nade out because he got timing. Now, this could be an audio issue in CS2 because Jacob was clearly, he could be heard, but I don't think JL heard him running up Cat. So he pulls out his nade, gets timinged. Again, I think this is one of those things that's hard to say. I don't really know if JL makes a mistake here. It could just be audio. Because I would say I don't expect him to make that mistake in CSGO because he would have clearly heard him. But either way, he did die, and we're going to move on to the next round. So we've got JL. This round, they've actually decided to stack towards A. JL pushes underpass, and, it's a pretty straightforward round. He's going to go on the flank. Now, he does have the CZ, though, and I'm not the biggest fan of this gun, but it is always good for one, as long as you're in a good spot with it. I mean, consistently, you're seeing the CZ do some crazy things. Taking his time here on this flank, though, to be honest, this round is not really a chance in the world to win it. I don't know what you're even meant to do. From JL's perspective, I don't know how he could even do anything else. Looks like he might have tried a silent jump there, though. I don't actually know if that's possible. Can anybody confirm in the comments below, is the silent jumps, or silent drop, like the ROPS drop, still in this version? I haven't actually seen it before. But anyway, there we have it, a clean little half there from JL. He drops 20 kills in just 12 rounds, which is absolutely insane when you really think about it. I mean, we're playing against tier 1 pros, and he's making it look like he's just playing a regular old Premier match. And one of the things that's actually really cool about JL in this game is that I've actually noticed that he didn't really play too flashy. He wasn't like overextending consistently. Even though he is trying to abuse Peeker's advantage, you don't see him just fighting every single thing in the world. He's playing very reserved, playing exactly how he would play in CSGO, and then whenever it's time to actually do the part where you fight people, then that's when he's trying to jump the gun, then he's peeking, playing very aggressive, and most importantly, he's playing very confidently. And that's something that a lot of newer players need to understand. Playing confidently is one of the biggest things that will help your game. Just make sure that whatever you do, even if it's completely like idiotic, you do it with some level of confidence because it'll make you play better. Now, that doesn't just mean disregard what your teammates are telling you and all this, but still, playing with confidence is something that you'll see a lot of up-and-comers and rookies do, like JL. He actually fakes the jump there. Very smart play from JL. He fakes the jump, knows the audio is a little weird, so Jacob's not sure if he dropped off apps, and he actually gets a kill because of it. Upgrades to the dualies, and no, I don't know. I don't think JL's... Don't think he's going to lose this one here. He does not. And yeah, very clean round from JL. Again, he's using these issues that are coming up in CS2. Makes it work. Now, that's not to say that that play specifically with the fake jump wouldn't have worked in CSGO, but it's more likely to work in this game, and I think he knows that. Now, he takes this very beautiful AK, I really like this skin, by the way, in towards the Palace. We see him kind of lurking towards Palace. And one of the things to be careful about when you're doing a Palace default is to make sure that you don't get caught by a pistol on the balcony, especially a 5.7. because they are able to one-tap. Even a Zeus or a shotgun can sometimes catch you off guard, maybe an MP9. On these half-buys, you have to be very careful to not overextend. JL, I don't think he overextended, but he definitely went a little bit too fast, and that's going to give up an AK. And honestly, giving up an AK to anybody, and especially, in this game, could just directly result in a round loss, but fortunately, it did not. So that one would be a little bit of a small mistake, maybe a little over-eager to peek there, who knows. But either way, they're going to go ahead and go right into a nice little set B play perhaps. And as you see here, did you see this? They just had 3 people swing from cat. This is something that JL mentioned in the interview. Swinging from cat is very strong, and we're seeing Apex is trying to abuse that in this game, which is very interesting to see. This is like the pro meta. People know what's really strong right now at CS2, and they're trying to take advantage of that. But in return, Navi are taking advantage of the fact that they know that that they want to peek towards cat, so they can take the timing out apps. It's kind of dank, but that's really the level of strategy that's going into a game like this. Very well played from JL to get. Oh no! I completely didn't. I completely forgot that happened in this game. Again, though, this is what I was talking about. Right now, CS2 running through smokes is extremely strong, and even though JL had his Molly out, which is just unfortunate, I still would be willing to bet Sense would probably kill him there. It's just one of those things in CS2 that you can get away with a lot more consistently. Now, I want to be clear. When you're watching this demo review, I'm not advising you to run through every smoke that you see. But I will say this. If you're ever in a situation where you don't really know what to do, or they're in the middle of an execute and you want to try something different, running through smokes is actually a really viable play right now. So just be careful. If you do die running through a smoke, don't blame me in the comments. Don't go down there and type an angry comment saying I don't know what I'm talking about. Which is actually pretty funny because in the past demo reviews, people have consistently said that, Austin, you don't know what you're talking about. We're literally watching a pro match, and I'm telling you what I'm seeing. So if the pros are doing it, I feel like, what I'm saying has some level of merit. Anyway, so JL, we'll see this a lot from Palace Lurkers. I'm sure we'll do plenty of demo reviews in the future. One of the things that happens with Palace Lurkers is they get smoked off a lot, and people who are newer to the game might be tempted to try to take their luck through a smoke here. Even in CSGO, people would try to walk through the smoke on timings. But at a higher level, you're going to notice that consistently the pros are okay with being smoked off. Maybe in this version, they might even eventually start nading the smoke to get info. But you don't want to go too fast. And that's one of the things that you need to be, paying attention to in your own games. Like, you'll see in pro matches consistently the timer running low, down to 40, down to, even sometimes 15 seconds on the clock before they even make their play. And that's just something that, like, there's a lot of time in the round, and don't be afraid to let it run a little bit. Because if you're just consistently running out every time, you're going to run out at the same timing, and the other team is going to become conditioned to, like, expect you at a certain time. And that might seem obvious for people who play the game a lot, but it's just nice to get a little reminder every now and then. Because even myself, sometimes I find myself running in, not letting the time run down. And it leads to situations like this, where JL hasn't really done anything this round, but he's alive. And that's like a very important talking point. Whereas like, he starts the round here, and he doesn't try to make his play happen in Palace. He just accepts, okay, this isn't the time to make the play. Instead, I'm going to take my life. It's very valuable, and I'm going to reposition, and I'm going to be more valuable in the round somewhere else. I don't have to make this Palace play a thing. And that's something that I think we can all learn from, because it happens a lot. You start in Palace and you think that, well, because I decided to start Palace, I have to get a kill Palace, fight Palace, timing, lurk out Palace. But no, you could really just leave at any time. Like, if you're, especially, playing a pug, like, you don't have to do that. A new 10-second timer is pretty interesting, isn't it? I think it's really nice, but it is interesting. Okay, moving on to the next round here. Got an instant window smoke here from Ema. Looks like they're going to be going towards abs this time. JL has the bomb, so it's probably indicative of some sort of fast B play. I've never seen that flash before. That was an interesting one. Pretty much just some chill mid fighting here. As you can see, Apex fighting heavy mid, and they got that information towards top mid. Just getting ready to go for this B play. Unfortunately, JL lost his teammate in abs, so this round is kinda in trouble, especially when you consider that Blade's alive. No disrespect to Blade, but it's definitely not ideal to have Blade instead of Simple in this situation. However, I will say that there's still a real chance here, assuming that JL is able to get a good timing. It's not undoable. So in a situation like this, JL waits for Blade. Obviously, you know, not a bad idea. And, okay, it all went wrong. Unlucky there for Blade. I don't really know what you do in a situation like this. I feel like JL is kind of just screwed. Like, to be honest, like, they're just going to have to save. And that's exactly what they do. You'll see this a lot in pro games too, which is something that I feel like a lot of casual players don't do. You can save. Like, I mean, let's be honest. Like, what's wrong with saving? There seems to be this like stigma in pugs, like saving. No, go run die, go run die. No, 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 no. Like, if you want to win your games, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what? With this round, we messed up. Let's just save, take these guns to the next round. No big deal. All the pros do it. And if you want to be good, you gotta, you know, learn from the pros. It's okay to save sometimes. I mean, like, not in, like, super crazy situations. Like, don't save in, like, a 1v2 like James would. I mean, like, seriously, like, it's okay. If it's a 2v5, why? You don't have to. You don't have to go out there and die. Like, that, you don't have to. Like, nobody's telling you to except for the guy that's tilted on your team. You know what I mean? Like, play your game, and it's okay. Obviously, this is a pro match, but I'm trying to help you guys learn from pro matches, so in pro matches, I expect them to save there 100% of the time. But here we have it again, you know, just another chill, you know, Palace default. Yeah, it's a kind of boring role, but it is one of the most important roles on T-side Mirage because he can kind of catch these timings like I was talking about. Look at him, he just steps out, perfect timing Palace. I mean, it's a little awkward. He did molly himself, but he's still alive. And now he can leave Palace and go make a play happen somewhere else. Very well played from JL to catch that timing. Now, that timing gets created because there's a lot of mid pressure going on. There's nades in mid getting exchanged and stuff like this. So you're actually going to see that, you know, off of these timings, JL has like this mental thing like, okay, if I was the A player right now, I'd be looking connector. Or if I was the A player right now, I wouldn't expect Palace. And that's kind of how you have to envision these lurks. So what I mean is, like, when you're Palace, if you know somebody's, like, jump spotting ticket, you kind of have to, like, know how you would react based off what the information is. So you have to pretend to be the CT. What would I do if I heard a window smoke? What would I do if I heard cat got smoked off? Well, I would have to be worried about connector. Oh, I'm worried about connector. Oh, I forgot about Palace. And then that's when you would walk out Palace. You know what I'm saying? Kind of a long-winded explanation, but I hope that helps. Either way, so this situation ends up coming down into this really interesting 3v2. Castanito comes up huge, though, and they will actually lose the round because of that. But still, the fact that JL plays his life so well, he steps out Palace, gets a kill, repositions, goes up Cat, late round, gets another kill. It's just something that you're not going to see a lot from people who are, like, learning the game. They don't understand the value of their life. Like, let's say, like, let's be honest, people in chat, including myself, you know, when we get this first kill towards Ticket, what do? Well, I mean, sometimes people would just run out. Let's go get more. I'm looking for the highlight. Put it in the clip movie. Put it in the clip montage, the frag movie. You know, oh, I got a kill ticket. Now I'm going to go and jump down and immediately die to the guy on the balcony. You know what I mean? Like, you understand the importance of your life and try to play with that in mind. Don't be afraid to die, but understand that sometimes you don't have to die, you know? And that's something that we can definitely learn from this game. I really like the way that JL plays. A lot of respect for how he just gets it. Like, honestly, he just gets it. This round, you know, it's kind of a slow burner. We have just a deco, nothing too crazy, just looking for kills. And on rounds like this, it also might be tempting for a lot of players to just kind of go, all right, I'm going to run and challenge the upper, right away. Now, it's okay to do what JL did. They're chilling. They're just talking about what they want to do next round. But some people will literally be like, all right, I bought a dig. Run, die. Run towards ramp, die. Run towards apps, die. Like, it's okay to let these rounds kind of see what happens, right? Like, maybe we chill a little bit, you know, let them use their mollies, minus 600 molly ramp, minus 600 molly apps, minus 600 they mollied underpass, minus 600 they mollied towards palace. Now they're smoking ramp, minus 300. Now they're smoking, you know, bottom connector, minus 300. Try to let these, like, these nades go to waste. Because, I mean, Apex, they're not thinking about, like, we're playing against Nico, don't throw your nades. They're thinking about, we need to win this round because we're making the comeback happen, so they're going to throw their nades, right? And making them reinvest however much nades cost, you know, like, let's say a full belt of util costs, like, what, 1,400, maybe sometimes less, depending on what you buy. like making them reinvest, minus 1400 plus if they get a kill, then what is that? That's like I don't even know, minus 1000 plus 2900. I'm just kidding. Minus $4,000 plus nades. You could be taking $5,000 away, and that's gonna hurt the money going into future rounds. So you have to kind of keep that in mind instead of just brainlessly running around and just trying to get a cool 1D. I mean, sure, playing every game like super try hard, I know nobody's gonna do that because even I don't do that, right? But when you want to take the game serious, try to keep all these things in mind. I'm not looking at JL. Oh my god. Palace Lurk again. Consistently playing very disciplined. He's letting Bit walk out ramp right now. Bit walks out ramp. He's clearing underpass. They're doing this crossfire thing where they're clearing things out. They're not even throwing any nades. And Bit has actually caught this crazy timing. And look at, they're both on A site and they're working together. Even though it didn't look like JL was doing anything but staring at a wall, Bit and JL are crossfired. So if Bit were to die to Sandwich, JL steps out. And anytime something would have happened to Bit here, JL would have been there to trade, right? So like, let's say that JL dies to default, or sorry, not JL, Bit dies to default, JL steps out. And basically, him and Bit work together, and you see this a lot in pro matches, where they can get a consistent person towards Sandwich off of a timing, and when that person gets here, they can kind of cause chaos in the round, right? And that's exactly what happened. It didn't pan out for them, but this is something that you see a lot. This is like pro pug play, kind of, and sometimes this might happen when they're running out of ideas. I mean, they have lost, 3 rounds in a row, getting a little worried, so they try to make an interesting play happen. It doesn't pan out, but you can kind of see the vision here. JL is just ready. As soon as Bit makes something happen here, he's going to help him. And, again, didn't pan out, but definitely a really nice idea. Now, for those of you guys that have seen this game, you might know what happens here. But we're about to see a little bit of a masterclass with the Deagle. JL makes his way towards Palace. And I'm not really sure if there's any takeaways from this, other than maybe hit the deathmatch here and there. But Alexi B gets spammed through the smoke. JL knows it's his time, and he's going to try to make it happen. Waiting for his teammates to take a little contact towards ramp. He wants to step out on the right time. Not too early, not too late. Here we go. Steps out. We'll find nothing. But then, here's my favorite detail, okay? I forgot the timing of the round, so I tried to hype it up. But I forgot the timing. It's all good. JL actually throws the Austin CS smoke. I'm not even joking. Now, not to take credit for JL's clip, but I said when the game released and the smoke changes happened, the smoke thrown on balcony would make a lurk smoke for the person Palace. And JL must have seen my video because he follows me on Twitter. And after he hits this fantastic 1D, he actually decides to drop a little lurk smoke for himself here, and he gets the Austin CS lurk smoke. And because of that smoke, he can actually kind of get a little bit of a gap here. And not here, but right here. Shoots the smoke, spots him out, and then bop. Look at that. Beautiful. Now, what I really like about this clip, other than the fact that it's absolutely insane, is that he actually uses the smoke, like the shooting the smoke thing, to reveal Nox's position, and then he hits a nice 1D on him. That's just absolutely fantastic from Bit. Sorry, not Bit, JL. It's just absolutely fantastic. And now I'm just trolling about the smoke thing. Obviously, he just threw that. He might not have even seen my video. That's just troll. But still, very fantastically. Like I love the way that he just like works around that smoke. Definitely a lot to learn there. Even though it is a highlight that's going to be hard to replicate, you can kind of see like how he's thinking about the situation, like picking his fights and making sure that he's exposed to what. He knows what he's exposed to all the time, and then at the end, using that smoke spam to check CT, actually spots him out. Very well played from JL. Now again, we just see it, basically this is just a Palace defaulter simulator getting smoked, and then right when the smoke's about to fade, another smoke pops up, and you're just sitting here, and you're just like, well, I don't want to do this, bro. Like, I want to leave, but he does need to stay. So, it's all good. Let me fast forward a little bit here because he's just going to sit there for a minute. Takes his timing, steps out, absolutely destroys, kicks in, and then there you go. I mean, look at that. It's as simple as you like. I think that's his 30th kill. No spoilers. Yeah, that is the 30 bomb. So there you go. Just very, very well played from Mr. JL in this game. And as this game wraps up, I'd just like to remind you of some of the things that we talked about before we watched the game. Now that we've seen it, talk about a few things again. Peaker's advantage is a real thing, and JL is definitely doing his best to make it happen. Now let me just, uh-oh, it might be too late. I don't know if I can pause it anymore. I can't. Unlucky. So he's definitely doing his best to make it happen. He's using the palace timings and he's waiting very patiently. And when his timing comes up, he's peeking very aggressively, wherever that might be, towards ticket, towards jungle, wherever. And he's just making sure that he's never getting peeked into. We saw that a lot this game. And again, what he said earlier, Peeker's advantage is strong, even on LAN. Valve, please fix. JL, this was a fantastic game. I hope to see more crazy things from him. I'm a big JL fan myself, so yeah, if you guys did enjoy this demo review, I'd appreciate if you guys left a like. Share it with your friends as well who need to watch some demos and they don't want to. And yeah, I would appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you guys want to see more demo content below. I am watching all of the IEM Sydney matches on my stream every single night that they are streamed. You can come check it out. We're going to be watching them. Twitch.tv/AustinC_. There's a link in the description. Come watch some games with us. Come chill out with us. And yeah, that's going to be it from me. Much love as always. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.